Welcome back to One Out Racing, and you join me from my office because it's just a very quick episode today. I've managed to pick up some modifications for my main man Nick to go on the Lemon. Just a few small bits, but hopefully something that will help the car get a little bit more like how I want it to look, because it's not quite there yet. So come with me and dip your toe in the One Out Racing pool for a very quick touch base. I do love a simple job, so I'm replacing this gear knob, which I've never been a fan with this one. Much more purposeful. I think it just goes with the car a little bit better, and it definitely suits the style that I'm going for long term with this car. Done. And that, as they say, is as easy as that. I didn't bother showing you it because it's taking one gear knob off and putting another one on, but massive shout out to Nick for sending me that, because he used to be on the Slug, and I always really liked it on that car. He wasn't that into it, and he said I could have it for nothing. And not only did he say that, but he also said I could have some other bits off the Slug as well. So this is working out very well, because free mods, especially with Cinquecentos, and seemingly the prices and parts and cars and stuff going a lot higher than it used to be, it's getting a little bit harder to get some stuff. Yes, I've got sporting lights. Anyone into Fiat Cinquecentos will know, on a sporting, you got these, slightly flashy, if I say so myself, or at least I think they're much nicer looking. Sort of pink and red across the whole cluster. On the poverty spec ones, obviously you've got like the amber and the white. I just think certain colours look better with these. I think silver looks pretty good with the Bogo spec lights. I think the red, sort of somewhere in between the two, but I think white and Emola blue definitely looks better with the red. Now, any set of sporting rear lights, one of the brackets is broken because they all seem to snap. So as long as you've got one, you're golden. Now this one's got a tiny little crack. So I'm going to stick some JB Weld on there or something. I did give these a nice polish before I fitted these to the Slug, but Nick went back to the stack one, so I could have them for free. Now, I've got a unicorn here because, boom, it's got two brackets. Obviously, that's no big deal really, but yeah, it's great. New brackets to fix on that one. But Nick was a plonker and he dropped these when he was removing them. So I've now got a little hole there. Now, I did trawl eBay for ages to try and find a glue gun, to try and find some glue sticks that were clear. And I went through loads and loads and loads, found one that said clear glue sticks specifically, even the picture looked clear, and this is what I got. So it's not clear at all, is it? So that's going to dry milky. So it's going to look rubbish, so I'm not particularly happy with it. But I didn't want to get resin or anything. All I really need to do is fill this corner to stop moisture getting in there and the crack getting any worse. And obviously when the boot shuts, it kind of shuts like that anyway, so you're not going to notice. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to fire the glue gun up, put a tiny little bit in there, just trim it back with a knife. Bob's your uncle. And I know some of you would be like, oh man, don't put the sporting lights on there. It's like a poverty spec Cinquecento. It's supposed to have the orange and amber ones on there, blah, 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 etc, etc. Now, it's each your own, but I'm going to put them on because I think they look good. And I definitely think it's going to go with the style I'm after. So you can let me know what you think, but I think they're going to look cool. Now I'm going to throw it out there. It's another one of my tools. It's a Parkside special from Lidl. You'll see I've got a couple more down there for like woodwork ones. My pillar drill is from Parkside one as well. And I've got to say, Lidl, you are killing it, because every single tool I've ever got from them for the price has been nuts. It's been all right. For things like power tools and stuff, I've tended to lean more towards a bigger brand. But for stuff like this, it's wicked. I mean, it's cost me hardly anything, and it's cordless. You just put it on the docking station there, take it off, stays hot for ages, and you can lose it with loads of stuff. So, Lidl, I am looking for sponsorship. I will quite gladly take a load of your Parkside tools. Sort me out. Now remember kids, don't be like me and turn your glue gun on and then go start making lunch and stuff and then completely forget you even did it, because then you just start wasting loads of glue. Come into your garage and realise that it smells really hot in here. But either way, nothing burnt down. So I'm going to grab this bad boy and knock this out. Right, now this should be dead easy. Not going to go flipping crazy. But I'm saving a set of sporting lights that otherwise would have found their way into the bin. That's good, right? Because long gone are the days, people, where you can just throw fit stuff in the bin because there's 20 more of them down the street. Because that is not the case anymore. That is not the case at all. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did such a good job, I haven't even got to trim it. See, it's just in there. Now, if I got really finicky about it, I could probably use a red marker, just tap that over. But that will absolutely do for now, and hopefully the water doesn't get in this like hairline crack that's going down there. But if it does, we can worry about that at a time, can't we? So either I'm going to pull the car around because I've got to wash it anyway, and we'll put these on, have a little before and after, and you can tell me whether you think I've done the right thing. Well, it's a couple of days later because I've actually been pretty busy and I actually came up with an idea. So I bought this awesome soldering kit a little while ago. Now, if you see this on Amazon, absolutely get one of these because it's wicked. I think I paid about £30 for it, but you get all these really cool attachments. Obviously, it's gas powered, so you haven't got to mess around with it too much. And I remembered it comes with like these tiny little like attachments on it for like mounting stuff. So what I've decided to do is, rather than trying to glue it and relying on a glue to fix it, the crack that I've got on here, I'm going to heat this bad boy up and then just mount it. So basically just do like a little bit of plastic welding. Now hopefully that'll make it actually a lot stronger, all being well. So I don't really know the best way around this. I might just do it and then show you if it works. Right, now assuming that holds, that has worked a treat. So what I basically did was just hold it on there for a little bit to try and let that melted plastic get right into the crack. And if you look on the back, I kind of pushed some of that plastic from the bottom bit up and over and into it. Obviously it doesn't look great, but you're never going to see it. So we'll see how that holds up. I mean, obviously if it now snaps later, at a later date, I'll regret doing it, but you know, I have to try these things out. Now obviously this couldn't be any easier if you tried. It's literally just 2 screws, pull it out, 2 clips, chuck them back in. Flipping heck, I did just realise they've got white bulbs in it, so I just tested one out and the indicators are flashing white, but thankfully I got me a little stash. Woo! Well, it's turned into an absolute mission. I had to drill both these out, and in the end I actually had to pull the riv nut out of the body, and I'm going to have to put 2 new riv nuts in, all just to swap the lights over. Absolutely mental. So I went from a 2-minute job to a 45-minute job. Okay, it's not screws like it's supposed to be, but that's the best I can get away with. I'm just hoping they're not too wide. It's going to stop the boot shutting, but there's only one way to find out. There you go. And that's the after. Alright, there's a load of effort, but I reckon that actually looks a lot better than it did. And there you have it. You've seen the memes, you probably experienced it yourself. Every job's a 5-minute job until you snap a bolt, and then it's a 2-day job. So yeah, I quickly ran out there, thought I'll swap these lights over, nice and easy. Left side went in pretty easy, not a problem at all. Right hand side, I realised, I remember this now, that I'd started drilling the screws out when I tried to swap these over before. Then I suddenly put some mental hardened screws in there, could not get them off. In the end, the only way I could actually do it was to actually cut the little brackets on the top of the lights, which I'll show you. So I had to cut that one and cut that one. And you might think, geez, Ben, could you not have cut them a little bit better than that? Well, actually, the person before, at some point, obviously given up trying to get these old screws out, and I just screwed a hole through it. But my hope is, I do have it around here somewhere. There we go. That at least for this side, I'm going to be able to, no, this side even, I'm going to be able to plastic weld this back on like I did with the other one. So I'm going to make some sort of attempt at least fixing one half of this, so I've got at least one bracket, and if I can, I'll make some up for this side as well. But I mean, you know, because they're decent lights, they're not in bad shape. Obviously I had to get them off at some point because I need to be able to replace the bulb. But yeah, so one job that was supposed to take me 1 screwdriver turned into all this, and in the end I had to literally pull these out. Look, I tried to screw, oh, let's see if I can focus. Tried to drill them out, but these are some crazy hardened screws and they would not have any of it. And in the end, even when I managed to pull the light out and try and get these undone with pliers, this was spinning inside the car. So I had to literally just manhandle it, pull it out, and then put a couple of riv nuts in. So in all fairness, you know, riv nuts are a nice tidy fix. So at least I did it properly. Right, what was I going to do next? Right, so after that traumatising 5-minute, 40-minute job, I'm just going to crack on, do a few other little bits. So I've actually got a fresh set of spark plugs. I don't need to show you how to do this. I am fairly certain now that I've resolved all of the problems with it. I didn't want to put new spark plugs in it because every single time that I thought I'd fixed the problem, there was something else causing it to overfuel, and it was just fouling up the plugs and ruining everything. It's definitely when you first start it up and you just leave it running, it does start to kind of overfuel a little bit, as you can tell it's not really firing off properly. But I think that's probably because the sparks are just completely shot. So I'm going to chuck these in, take a punt, and they're like, what are they, £20 or something? And fingers crossed, that is it. That'll actually get it running better. So I'll go knock that on the head now. Maybe we'll even take it for a spin. But there's one thing I need to do before that. And that's to fix this. All good going right. But when we go left, yeah. Now I already know what's causing it. Basically, it's the passenger indicator. When it's doing that, it doesn't do anything. If I take it out, mess around with the connector on it, it then works fine. Everything's fine and dandy. But something is obviously up with that front connector. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the indicator off. And I'm just going to put some tape around it just to make sure it holds those wires in place, and hopefully that's all it is. Might have a little bit of damp in there, I don't know. Nice as you fixed in the end. I actually took the connector off and a load of water fell out of it. I think it's just because I don't run front arch liners on this car. Partly because it didn't come with any. So I haven't got any spares because, as I keep on saying over and over again, not bitter about it at all. I gave away all my spare parts, so I can't even put any on it. So I basically took some of the old self-amalgamating tape. For those of you who don't know, this stuff only sticks to itself, essentially. It's like rubbery. I just sealed the back of the connector, dried it all up, put it back together, and as you'll see... much better. It worked a treat. So I've got indicators now, so now I can go left and I can go right. I haven't done the spark plugs yet. I'm going to run out and do that in a second. Yeah, so it is progressing well so far. Now, I've got to say, these are actually looking all right. I mean, they've had a hard time, though, with overfueling and stuff. But if it'll focus, I mean, they're pretty clean. They're not too sooty or anything. I mean, you know, I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more just to see whether they may be underfueling a little bit. We'll have to see. But it doesn't look burnt or anything like that. I just feel like they just had a real hard time. And this little node on the top, whatever you want to call it, it's definitely been getting overfueled and sooted up a lot before these all cleaned up. It definitely already feels like it runs a bit smoother with new plugs, but it's always going to. So we'll have to see. I'll keep these as a backup anyway, but at least it's done. If there's any running problems now, it's got nothing to do with these. Do you know what? Actually, looking at this a bit closer, if you remember I said I had to replace 3 before, because 3 was absolutely toast and had a dodgy wire on it. Well, I reckon, if I can zoom in on this, 2 is looking pretty ropey. I don't know if you can just see on the side of that bottom part there, looks like that's mounted away a little bit, or at least had some problems. But again, on this style engine, 2 and 3 always get a hard time. They get the air and fuel first, and these outside ones always tend to run slightly leaner, which is why when you have a turbo one of these, you tend to have to overfuel these a touch just so these outer 2 cylinders get enough. So these first middle 2 were always going to get a bit of a hard time when it was overfueling. That might be what it is. So hopefully here's literally it. So, well, for those of you who are stuck around to the end of the video, well done, because we're not quite finished yet. But if you stuck around till now, then I'm going to be telling you something. So I'm currently sat in my garage now, sorting out loads of stuff. Anything that was in 3 boxes, I'm trying to fit into 1. I've got some extra racking. I'm moving everything out of the way because I need the space. And not because the white car's coming here, although it is going to be, which I'll explain in a minute, but because I've bought something. I've bought another motor vehicle in which I need the space. It's not turning up for a couple of months. I'm in no rush for it. I'm just organising like transport and stuff for it now. But I'm very, very excited about it. Slightly apprehensive, as I am whenever I buy a new project, because I've just literally started getting the white one in a decent place and it's usable, but that's okay. But I will tell you more. It's YouTube. I'm not going to tell you everything, but I've got a great deal on it. It's been sat up quite a long time. I know the guy selling it. He's a top dude. I have every faith it is as good as he says it is. It's got a pretty wicked history. A lot of my Cento or Fiat buddies know it. They've heard of it. They remember from back in the forum days. So it's going to be an interesting purchase. So I can't wait to actually tell you what it is. I am pumped. I am really pumped about it. I'm trying not to think about it too much at the moment. But before that happens, I'm going to be doing some changes to the white car. Mostly because it doesn't need to be the all-round car now. It doesn't need to be sort of quick. It doesn't need to take a hammering on the track. It doesn't need to like be quite as hardcore in some areas. So I'm going to be selling some bits off it. I'm hoping to sell the 500 bath interior and put a sporting one back in it, because I'll be honest, I just think it suits the car a little bit better and it'll make me a little bit of money back for the new car. There is a chance the engine might be coming out of it. I've got a mate interested in it. It probably makes more sense him having it for his car, seeing as what this car will basically go to being just a really cool, slightly low R-bath kitted Cinquecento with a manifold and a decent air filter setup on it and a decent exhaust system. And I'll go back to the original stock engine that was in it. And likewise, I'm probably going to have some wheels up for sale soon and some other bits just to fund the new build. Because, and I'm going to use the word build loosely, it's going to be recommissioning because it's been sat for a while and some build stuff. So it's going to be interesting. You may well get some videos a lot more often now because I've actually got something to cover and I'm excited about it. So if I'm excited about it, I'm going to want to video it. So yeah, if you haven't already, because I know a lot of people watch my videos and aren't subscribed to it, and that's fair enough. But if you want to get a notification to know when the new cars come in and what the plans are, and when I drag the white one in and start doing a few jobs to that, hit the button. You know what you're doing. But anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. I may well add one last little bit to the end because there's one thing I've been really wanting to do to the Lemon because I just think it'll make the front end look better. I might just stick that in as a random little quiet montage at the end. But if not, or if I do, I'll catch you soon. Have a good one. Get your guesses in the comments of what you think I've bought, but you're going to like it, I promise.